Hello friends and enemies. Today we are looking at Indiana Jones Adventure Series from Hasbro. And we have an entire wave to get through, so let's jump right into it. We've got the plastic-free packaging. It even says so on the side. And actually it's pretty nice packaging. Glossy overlay on the text and the figure. The background is matte and accentuated with some really nice artwork. It's all in the style of Drew Struzan, who drew the original Indiana Jones posters. I don't know if this is him or just a very good, I don't want to say copycat, but just someone who's able to do it in a similar style. Very nicely done. On the side, you get a little peek of what you can expect from the wave, and on the back, you get a full rundown of the figure inside and what it should include. And it'll be that way for all of them. So we've got Indiana Jones, of course, Marion Ravenwood. She comes with a monkey, but I won't hold that against her. Sala, Major Arnold Tot. Am I saying that right? And Ren Block. So apologies if I pronounced anyone's name wrong. Yeah, I was super late to the Indiana Jones game, and I've only seen each of the movies once, so I haven't really retained much information from them. So who should we start with? We can't start with Indy because he is the main attraction. So let's start with Sala. And I really hope I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, I'm sure I will be corrected in the comments. So I believe Hasbro has since done away with the plastic-free packaging, but this is really cool. I've never seen this before where it has instructions or diagrams on the inside on the cardboard. And that's a neat change of pace. What's even neater is that the wax paper that the figures and accessories come in is decorated this time. It's got a really cool map illustration on it. So far in the past when we've gotten these, it's just been white, opaque wax paper. But to have a design on it is really neat. I kind of want to keep it. Alright, oh, his head is a little crooked. There we go. And we've got the Build-A-Ark pieces in here along with the accessories, hopefully. You never really know with the plastic-free packaging. Alright, yep, looks like everything's there. Alright, so here he is, and it's a Hasbro figure, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing, I'm just saying it as a truth. And as I said, I'm not a huge Indiana Jones stan, and it's been a bit since I've seen the movie, so I'm not sure I can really speak to the likeness, but from what I remember it looks good. The face is very shiny, which is a problem sometimes with the Hasbro figures. We see that a lot in the Star Wars figures, but it's not a huge issue, and there are products that can take that shininess away, so it's not a problem. He is traffic coning hard though. It's also a little bit difficult to get him to stand on his own, and I'm not sure why that is. But otherwise, very minor nitpicks. I think he looks really good. I love this thing they did right here on the robes, this simulation of texture. Like, it already has a texture, but then you've got kind of a woven pattern that doesn't really exist. It's a false weave. Like some dirt has just been brushed up against there and is stuck. No dirt on the back, interestingly. Really nice detail on this headscarf. You got some dirt there too. A fabulous beard. Really nice sculpt on the hands, though I'm sure those are reuse because Hasbro has created a lot of humanoid figures with a lot of hands. If you take off his vest, he's looking a little scrawny in the chest area, but the illusion of a chunky boy is there when you put the vest back on. And the vest has some really tiny little sculpted details that are individually painted too, and they did a really good job on those. I'm guessing articulation is just going to be pretty much the same across the line for this series. We've seen a lot of Hasbro figures, and we know typically what they can do. Good head movement. This wrap is rubbery, so it doesn't get in the way. I dare say that his head is a little wobbly, actually. I mean, it was tilted to the side of the package. Got some neck movement too, but I'm not sure how much I'm getting out of that, actually. It requires a little bit of elbow grease to get that neck to move. And that might be different on your figure. You take off the vest, you can see a butterfly joint that is otherwise hidden nicely. So you've got that movement. You've got a very thick elbow and not really much swivel there because of the limitations of this joint. It just flares out so much. Good movement on the torso. He's got a bit of a gut, but that doesn't stop him. Now, this bottom part might be a problem just because, like I said, he's traffic coning. Underneath you could see his pants. So you've got a really good range of motion on the legs. It's just hampered by this tunic. And this is movable plastic, but it's still pretty stiff. Ooh. Crunchy leg joint. So in theory, he has average to good articulation, but this is going to get in the way. So for accessories, he comes with a coil of rope, and a shovel. And my only complaint about these is that they look unpainted. Well, I guess they are unpainted. This is just the base plastic. The rope, I feel, should have some more like dirt on it, like his tunic does. The shovel looks pristine, and I know damn well that whatever they were using to dig stuff up in the desert was not pristine. So he does not come with any other hands except for these. They were made for clutching, I guess. But the rope is too thick to clutch in a hand. You kind of have to loop it over his shoulder. And the shovel is very thin, so it doesn't want to stay in this hand. You might need some blue tack, or like to put it in at an angle like this. Kind of looks like he's about to go at a giant ice cream sundae, which sounds really good right now. I think I'm just hungry. But yeah, we're at a strong start with this guy. I like him quite a bit. Next, I want to look at this bad guy. I feel bad for not really remembering anything about these characters. And I feel like some people might take that as a personal attack by me against the movie, but it's really not. I have a terrible memory. I know this guy was like a Nazi, right? That's what Indiana Jones does. He fights Nazis, which is great. So there we go with that diagram again. So I guess in lieu of a piece of paper with the instructions on it, we are just printing the diagram on each cardboard insert in the wave, which is a pretty clever way to do it. He comes out of the package without his hat, looking not very menacing, if I'm going to be honest. The hat should be in with this Build-A-Ark figure. Ooh, he gets some extra stuff too, cool. Not a very menacing looking man, but we haven't added his cloak or hat yet, so there's still a chance. He does have gloves though, and that's pretty spooky. The glasses are a little weird. I don't think they translate very well in action figure form. It's hard to get that right, but you can see underneath he does have fully decoed eyes, and he's also got a slot where the glasses slot in. They just don't really seem to want to fit his face. Looks a little awkward. A lot less textures with him. With him, we're more about the uniform, and I reckon pretty basic articulation. Yeah, he doesn't even have a butterfly joint, but I imagine he's not going to be doing much. Ooh, chunky elbow. That hurt a little bit. No waist on him. He's got some hip crunch, but that's about it. And the bottom of this suit is a little bit too low to let him do a lot with his legs. All you really need him to do is stand there and look menacing. And to that effect, he comes with this nifty overcoat. Very well sculpted. You cannot put his arms through it. It just kind of goes over his shoulders. This is what all the cool guys do. That's how they wear their coats. I know, because I don't wear my coat like this because I'm not a cool guy. Cannot forget his hat. He's another one that's hard to get to stand up on his own. I think the feet on these figures are just so narrow, but they've got heavy clothing. No! So for him, in addition to the coat and the hat, we also get 3 other accessories. We get a hand, we get a pistol, pew pew, and we get this horrible melting head. The glasses on this one are secured a little bit better, so I can't lift them up, but from what I can see, the eyes are kind of popping out of the sockets and rolling back. It's really just awful. I was trying to switch out the head, but it's so difficult. Same for the hand, yeah. His parts are stuck on real good, so I'm going to have to use the hot water method at a later time. For now, we move on to the next figure. And now we move on to Marion Ravenwood. She's looking pretty cheeky with that frying pan. And she's a very interestingly shaped character because of her clothing. This is not optimal clothing for an action figure, but it does look very striking. Really nice face sculpt and decals. The hair is sculpted really nicely. The ankles look a bit crazy. They just look like tree trunks. Surely there was a better way to do this. I don't know, maybe not. I'm not a toy engineer. Yeah, the ankles are very awkward looking. They got some gout happening here. But yeah, the deco on the blouse is really nice. Her head articulation might not be as robust as the others just because of her hair. It's a bit rubbery, so it's not that bad. No butterfly joint for her. Got a pretty simple elbow. Her clothing is really going to hinder her here. Decent movement at the waist, but again, her blouse kind of gets in the way of a full crunch. Leg movement is alright. Got a thigh swivel and huge chunky knees. So the ankle can go back and forth and side to side, but man, it looks so weird. And I'm actually not having trouble standing her up, unlike some of the other ones. So for accessories, she will come with a frying pan, stainless steel from the looks of it, and a monkey. But this is really cool because the monkey is actually articulated. It's a tiny, tiny sculpt, but his tail moves, the head moves, and there's a simple up and down on the arms. He is so tiny. I was really expecting him to be completely static, but the fact that it moves is so cool. And the detail on this thing is incredible. The tiny gold trim on his vest, the details on his face. Fantastic work on this monkey. It might be a little difficult to position him where you want him to go without blue tack or some kind of other anchoring mechanism. Yeah, I'm gonna stop trying because it's very hard. And the frying pan fits perfectly into her hand, unlike Sala and the shovel. Marion is a force to contend with because she's got frying pan on one hand and monkey in the other. And a monkey alone is enough reason to make you nervous. Moving on to Ren Block. Bellick? I don't know. If you've come here for correct pronunciations, you will leave sorely disappointed. So talk about traffic coning. This guy is traffic coning hard. And unlike Sala, his tunic is very stiff. I guess just because it's in multiple pieces, but it's kind of a chore to lift it up and reveal the pants underneath. So I don't imagine you're going to get much dynamic leg movement out of him. He looks cool though. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a fine line between looking cool and looking like a total dweeb, and this guy's riding that line. But the reproduction of the outfit is really nice. I love all these textures, and not only the textures, but there's different paint applications, just like all these little checkers and stuff, and each checker is its own texture. You've got some embroidery right here, different colored stripes on the belt, a really fine texture on the tunic itself. You've got the priestly breastplate with the different jewels on it. Face is still pretty shiny. Maybe he's sweating though, it's hot out there. But yeah, they've really done a good job, at least so far, with the textures and the paint applications and stuff on this line. Ooh, he gets a nice head and neck joint working together in perfect harmony. No butterfly joint for him. Single elbow, decent movement on the waist. But yeah, these legs are where you're going to run into a problem because this robe just goes too hard. It feels like he put so much effort into this outfit, but he's just wearing like hiking shoes. Couldn't find like some priest sandals or something. I'm sure they have them. He will come with one accessory, and that is the ram staff, the ramrod, if you will. I actually don't know if this has like a particular name, but it's got ram heads on it, and it's a staff, and it looks really cool. I really like this gold color in contrast with, I guess, ivory? Is that what this is supposed to be? Only the finest of narwhal ivories here. Can you hold your rod? Come on now. Looking like a proper priest. Yeah, he looks cool. Not sure how much action you'll get from this action figure, but we should be able to get some action from our next figure because we finally reached the main attraction, Dr. Jones himself. Now he comes with a lot of stuff. I mean, comparatively. The others really didn't come with that much, which is fine. So the figure looks pretty good. I do have one little problem, and that is that this doesn't really look like Indiana Jones. From certain angles, maybe. I just think the brow is all wrong. Harrison Ford, I feel, has a pretty unique brow line, and this just isn't it. So yeah, this does not scream Indiana Jones to me in the face region. Everywhere else is definitely Indiana Jones. I do wish his hat would come off. I mean, the Nazi guy's hat came off. But yeah, for the main figure in your line, I thought that you'd want to get like a better likeness. And it's not bad, it's just not all there, you know? But everything else looks pretty spot on. This jacket is incredible. I love how the fabric is bunching. I love the worn spots in the leather. He is appropriately decked out. 2 belts. I know one is for the holster, but still, 2 belts. Is this an anime? He's also suffering a little bit from shiny syndrome. Face is shiny, his shirt is shiny. His pants are a little bit shiny, but I don't think they should be. You can see some paint on the bottom of the pants that indicates that they are rough and worn. This satchel is counted as an accessory, but it comes already on his body. And I'm sure you can take it off by popping off one of these arms and removing the vest part of the jacket, but I don't really want to do that. I'm fine keeping the satchel on. I will say the stubble is recreated very nicely. Tiny little gold buttons on the satchel. It's details like that that I really love finding. Hopefully he can be a little bit more dynamic than a few of the others in this line. His neck is on a separate joint, but it's hard to see because it plunges down into his shirt. Pretty good range of motion on the head. There's not much to get in the way there. No butterfly joint for Indy? Oh wait, yeah, there is. Okay. I should have noticed that earlier. I was about to be outraged on his behalf. Yeah, you want to get as much movement as him as you can because he's the star. He is the action hero. Decent crunch. Good back and forth on the waist. Gotta have good leg movement for kicking action. Yep. Ooh, very hefty joint, and that looks very awkward. That's an awkward cut. But, as you know, stuff like that doesn't typically bother me. If I wanted a perfect recreation of a tiny human, I would just have a child, and then I would force them to fight aliens and monsters. So this holster is closable. it's got a little peg you can put into this hole, but once you take it out, it does not want to go back in, which is a problem that is fairly prevalent in figures that I've noticed. So we'll just leave it open for now, because he comes with, pew pew, a gun that you can stick in there. Oh, wrong way. It's shaped a certain way for a reason, is what I'm learning. But then it doesn't want to close if you do that. It's just hard to get that peg back into the hole. You get a pair of fists with him, a loose clutching hand and a whip clutching hand. So he's already got the trigger finger attached and this kind of give me the artifact hand. He'll also come with 2 options for his whip, coiled up and loose. It'd be nice if this had a wire in it so you could pose it appropriately, but it's not bad as it is. I also wish the handle right here was made of a stiffer rubber, but you know, whatever. And lastly, he comes with the fertility idol, which is not something I thought I would ever see as an action figure accessory. All right, his pieces come off fairly well. Will they go? Okay, all right. No problem there. Will you hold the whip, sir? Sir, will you hold the whip? Kind of have to pry open his hands to get it in there. There we go. Yeah, he looks pretty cool in GL. That means not gonna lie. It's weird to me that they've taken so long to make Indiana Jones action figures. I mean, it's Indiana Jones. And I may not have kept up with it throughout my childhood, but a lot of people have. I imagine it's fairly popular. So now that we've looked at all our characters, it is time to build the Ark. So here we have all our pieces. It's interesting because this is the only build and accessory wave that I know of. Normally it's build a figure, you get another character out of it, but I can't recall any that come with an accessory. We've got our trusty dusty cardboard instructions. This goes here. Oh wait, no, this goes here. Slot that into there. That slots in here. We're missing one. We're missing a piece. I thought we were missing a piece, but it's just that this bottom part is attached really, really snugly into this top part. Snap that together. You can put all your accessories in here when it's done. So I was excited to complete the Ark. Unfortunately, I can't. I do not have all the pieces. Renee was supposed to come with all the rods to carry the Ark, but he only came with these 4. He didn't come with the centerpieces. And you can see here how these 4 pieces are supposed to plug into these 2 pieces that I don't have. And I've looked all over for them. I've looked all in this room. I've looked throughout all the packaging, all the wax paper. I've re-examined the figures. I cannot find those pieces at all, so I think they just accidentally got left out of the package. So unfortunately, I will not be able to complete the Ark because there's nowhere to go from here. I can't do anything with these pieces. It also means that this is not going to be able to be carried by anyone. So that's a big bummer. I imagine we'll be getting in touch with someone to see if we could just get those replacement parts. I mean, all we need are like 2 little rods, but it's just kind of a pain. I understand that that's something that's easy to accidentally overlook, but you know, it's a bummer. So for now, I'm just going to put these pieces into here. And we'll set this aside for now. So I'd say that this is a pretty good line, marred by the fact that I didn't get all the pieces of the Ark, and that's really annoying. And I'm not sure how much action you'll get out of a lot of these action figures, but they do look cool all together, so if you're an indie fan, I would recommend them if you're in the market for some action figures. They do have trouble standing up for the most part. Interestingly, Marion is the one that stands up on her own the best. And that's not usually the case with female figures, especially ones wearing like high-heeled wedges. I think that she's just lighter and has less going on up here. But these 2 I had to sticky tack down to the ground. He's kind of leaning back. Don't fall over, please. So yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about that Ark piece, but I'm trying to not let that mar an otherwise really neat looking line. So I'm blaming it all on this guy. He forgot the carrying rods, and the entire operation is up in smoke because of him. So it's been a while since I've done a review of a full wave. I hope you guys enjoyed. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.